Magdraft, like I said, it's got to be the right situation. And I've been fishing this bait ever since it came out quite a few years ago. And for me, it's pretty much a March, April, and May bait. I catch a few fish on it, maybe in the fall time of the year, but the workhorse, the real heavy lifting that it does is in the springtime of the year. It's not quite as effective for me in other times, but you want to fish it right now. Anytime that water temperature is between like 55 or maybe even 50, say 50 and 70 degrees in the springtime, this is going to be a really good bait. Along as also if you got the right type of water clarity. It works in a diversity of different water clarities, but my favorite water clarity to fish it in is sort of that 2.5 to 6 foot visibility. That seems to work pretty good with it. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about equipment you want to throw with it, line, and how to make the cast, and conditions that it works in, and then we'll talk about the areas that it works in. Most of the time, guys, with the 6-inch here, now as you go bigger, if you go bigger, you have to have heavy equipment, but for this video I really want to focus on the 6-inch size because this is the one you're probably going to do the best on this time of year. I throw it on a medium heavy 7-foot bait cast rod. I use that Megabass Perfect Pitch at 7'2". I found that like a 7'2" rod is really good setup for it. The bait weighs probably, I don't know, close to an ounce, but it casts pretty good with the medium heavy rod. I use 15-pound test Seagart and VizX line. I've experimented with a bunch of different test lines. 15-pound test seems to be the best. And also, guys, I've also experimented with a lot of hooks on it, and the stock hook that comes with this bait is the best one for it. Now, if you're not familiar with a Megabass, guys, it's got an internal magnet in it that keeps this hook in position, and it's also got a slot that you can bury one point in that makes it real, blends into the bait where it doesn't give itself away. Next with that is once you have the right setup and equipment as far as how you want to work this bait. That's another big key. The key on the Magdraft is to fish it slow enough. You want to fish it as slow as you can where the tail's still wagging here. Now, when you fish it slow like this head is going to wobble slightly like that along with the tail. It just looks just like a bait fish coming through the water. Now, if you reel it too fast, it's going to either come up too high or it's going to roll off to the side. So most of the time, I just throw it out there. I point the bait right at the lure. That's another good thing. It's like you want to have contact with this bait on a straight line. So I'll make my cast, point my rod tip straight at the Magdraft, and I'm just reeling just about like that. And occasionally, I'll give it a half turn like that. That's what I like to do. I don't just like to reel it just steady without stopping it. Half turn like that. Sometimes I'll stop and let it sink down. It's got a real slow fall. And the thing about the Magdraft, it works